Hey guys, Ryan here from PC Perspective. We're just going to take a quick look at a new case we've had here for a little while. We wanted to go ahead and do an overview of. It's the Corsair Carbide 200R. This is their new low-cost option, currently selling at Newegg for $49.99, and I think there's even a discount code or a rebate going on with that. So you can see on the front, you have three 5 1/4 inch bays. You've got your power and reset buttons. You've got your audio connections, two USB 3 connections. If we look at the sides, you'll see that there is air intake on both sides of the front panel. The back plate or the back door, nothing special there. If we look at the back, bottom mounted power supply, you've got 7 expansion slots, enough for I think the majority of users. You've got an included 120 millimeter exhaust fan. If we look at the primary door, you'll actually see that it's ventilated here, as they call it, and has capacity for 2 120s or 2 140s fans there. Actually, the case as a whole will support up to 8 fans. If we look at the top, you'll actually see room again for either a water cooling radiator or 2 120s or 2 140s as well up top. But let's take a look inside. You have thumb screws to access the insides of the case. Nothing new there. We'll go ahead and take these doors off. It is a very light chassis, pretty much all aluminum, I'm guessing, with some plastic throughout on the front and on the insides here. So we'll take both these doors off, and you'll see some of the classic traits of a Corsair case, including, if we just go ahead and look at the back, you've got your really big cutout for your CPU plate installation. So if you want to change your CPU cooler after the fact, you've got quite a few. You've got 3 or 4 of these cable routing openings. They're not grommeted. That's one of the cost savings things, right? So you can still pass cables through all those places. You've got your hard drive and SSD storage, and then you've got your optical storage here. So turn it around. So what's a little bit new on this chassis design is here, you've got, everything is screwless completely actually. In this case, even the 2.5 inch drive, 2.5 inch hard drive base. So if you've got an SSD, you can actually install your SSD without using any screws. Now, it's a little bit confusing in here. We're going to go ahead and put it this way, and it kind of locks in place there. And you do have the SATA and power connections coming out the front, which is maybe a little bit less neat than we've seen in the past. But if you see here, the kind of space you would have between the back of the SSD and this fan is a little bit small, so that's probably how you would have to leave those installed. And then for the hard drives, it's actually not even using trays anymore for this low-cost design. You just slide it in, and you use the, there's like a pin here that locks the hard drive in place. So you have access for 4 2.5 inch drives, I'm sorry, 4 3.5 inch drives, 4 2.5 inch drives, 3 5 1/4 inch optical bays here, and then this space is left open because this is where your primary graphics card, so it can still support really long graphics cards inside this low-cost case. Room for 8 total fans. Some of them can be 140, some of them can be 120s. You've got 1 included exhaust, 1 included intake. You have room for another intake here as well, 2 up top, 2 on the sides. There's even, they still have a intake filter for the power supply at the bottom down there. Still accessible only through the back, a little bit of a pain, but then you've got another place for a fan down here at the bottom, 120 or 140. Like I said, front panel USB 3.0 connectors on it, and you get a lot of the great Corsair design aspects for the Carbide 200R, and you can find it today for just $49 or less at Newegg, Amazon, all those kinds of places. Thanks, guys.